Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to British heat waves have nothing on American heat waves. Now, is this really true? Because a few weeks ago, we had 40 degrees Celsius heat, which is 104 or 105 Fahrenheit. And that lasted for almost a week. It was horrific because most houses, I would say 99% of homes here have no air conditioning. So we're relying on table fans, really. Like, we don't even have ceiling fans here typically. So it was unbearable. I mean, if we had AC like you guys did, I would be like, yeah, it's no big deal, but just awful. I wonder, does it get much hotter than 105 over there? Like, I don't know if, where would it even get that hot? Arizona, I've heard, gets really hot. So yeah, I'm eager to see what Lawrence has to say on this. Someone who's been in America for a while, obviously lived in the UK for a while too. So yeah, this should be a really interesting one. Let's do it.
The year was 1913, the place Death Valley, and this was not the beginning of a vampire novel. Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to heat waves. Both countries have experienced their fair share of them over the centuries. As someone who orbited the sun 26 times while living in Britain, I vaguely recall some of my homelands. I say vaguely because the thing about heat waves is that they don't linger in the memory like a blizzard or a hurricane. They don't yield shaky YouTube videos or Michael Bay set pieces. They're just a period of perspirational misery. In 2006, Britain experienced its hottest ever July, with the thermometer soaring to what I thought was a quite ridiculous 99 degrees Fahrenheit. One night, my wife and I camped out in my brother's living room in London. What happened next was a lesson in why you should never sleep on a blow-up mattress atop a flat in 99-degree heat in a country where AC is fiction. Rumour has it that our sweat still haunts the ceiling. But what is a heat wave? A heat wave is not just a case of hot weather. If it was, the southern US would be embroiled in perpetual summer heat wave, with temps often reaching what on earth degrees Fahrenheit. No, a heat wave is a period of heat relative to the usual temperature of a place or season. So when measurements exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Britain, as they did in Cambridge last year, it's definitely a heat wave. And I know that because this has only happened twice in the nation's history.
I mean, 3 times now after this video, but do you guys prefer heat or cold? I prefer cold, honestly. Extreme cold. Like, I just find it more comfortable. It's easier to get warm than it is to cool down.
In parts of the US, it's an annual tradition and will only become more frequent this century. Even while living toward the Great Lakes, I've encountered the dreaded 3 digits more than once. Between this and America's extreme winters, there's a reason I miss British weather. After all, British heat waves ain't got nothing on America. If you don't believe me, let's take a look at a selection of America's greatest heats.
All right, let's do it. 1896.
While not the hottest, this heat wave is notable for its persistence. In July and August of 1896, it impacted several popular cities such as New York, Boston, and Chicago over a period of 10 days. That's 24 hours longer than Michelle Phillips was married to Dennis Hopper. During those 10 days, the temperatures in those cities remained above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, even at night. Worse still, the humidity was about 90%, and this was in the days before aircon and Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey. Before entering into a bet with William Howard Taft over who could rock the best presidential facial hair, Teddy Roosevelt was New York City Police Commissioner. During the heat wave, he dished out ice creams to residents, which leads me to think he might have missed his true calling in life. To my mind, the world was truly robbed of mustachio-flavoured ice cream.
10 days is a long time, to have heat day and night. Oh.
Just as 2020 feels like a runaway train that's devoured 12 bottles of Dennis Hopper, 1936 felt the same way, but in black and white. America was in the throes of its worst ever depression. The Dust Bowl continued to engulf the Great Plains, and the nation endured one of its worst heat waves in modern history. The year's one bright spark was when Olympian Jesse Owens stormed to 4 gold medals in front of German Chancellor and ardent snowflake Adolf Hitler. But even as that was happening, temperatures in multiple states had exceeded 100 degrees for more than 10 consecutive days. State records had to be rewritten. To this day, 13 states have yet to best the records they set in the summer of 1936. This includes North Dakota, where temperatures soared to a high of 121 degrees. Nationwide, more than 5,000...
121, that's like 50 degrees Celsius? That's not even humane.
Americans died due to the heat. Crop devastation was widespread, and it just happened to follow one of the coldest winters in US history. To this day, 2 states have yet to best the records they set in February 1936. This includes North Dakota, where temperatures plummeted to minus 60 degrees. 1936, kicking North Dakota's ass since 1936.
Like 90 years ago.
In the early 50s, Gene Kelly was singing In the Rain. This would have been a huge kick in the teeth to people in the central United States because a persistent and record-setting heatwave was wreaking havoc there. Some areas experienced worse drought than during the Dust Bowl. In 1954, the year of Dennis Hopper's first television appearance, 11 states endured 22 days of 100-plus weather, and the Super Soaker 50 was still the stuff of a madman's dreams. In July of that year, my current state of Illinois recorded its highest ever temperature, with the thermometer reaching 117 degrees in East St. Louis. Rumour has it that microbes are still hiding under Eads Bridge to this day.
Have you guys ever experienced over 120 degree Fahrenheit temperatures? Or what is the hottest you've ever experienced? Like, let me know. And how did you cope with it? Were you able to manage it, or was it like unbearable?
This is not an actual heat wave. Right? This is a Motown hit by Martha and the Vandellas. Yeah, it's a great song, but we don't have the rights to it. Can we skip to 88? Thanks. In America, 1988 is remembered less for its heat wave and more for the droughts it exacerbated. It's also remembered by me for an unusual lack of Dennis Hopper films and the line, "Senator, you're no Jack Nicholson." I think I dreamt that one. But the weather that year was no laughing matter. Weather stations recorded an unprecedented number of days between precipitation in many parts of the Midwest. In the spring, Milwaukee endured 55 days without rain or snow. Wow. A phenomenal feat for anyone who's been to Milwaukee. At its worst, the drought covered almost half the nation. Forest fires ran rampant, most notably at Yellowstone National Park, which suffered the largest in its history. The event led to one of the worst dust migrations since the 30s, and schools were forced to close in Dakota of the southern variety. Now, this is all terrible, you're probably thinking, but aren't droughts and heat waves two different things? Well, yeah, it's just that this particular drought happened to coincide with one of the most stunning heat waves since 1936. It's estimated that between 4,000 and 17,000 Americans died as a result.
What?
Adjusted for inflation, it's the third costliest natural disaster in US history behind Hurricanes Katrina and Harvey.
That is a ton of people.
In many ways, I've lived 2 lives, one in Britain and one in America, and a third one in an alternate universe where I have marginally better
I need to do one of these for me. These are really good.
Teeth and go by the name of Emma, but we don't talk about that. The 2016 Southwest heatwave is the only one included on this list to have occurred during my second life as a US resident. The good thing was, it was 2,000 miles away. During the month of June, temperatures in the states of California, Arizona, and Nevada looked more like supercentenarian statistics. You had numbers like 110, my age in Time Lord years, all the way up to 125. That measurement was taken in Needles, California, a place that has literally never been hotter. Of course, California knows a thing or two about heat waves. Not only is the state frequently riddled with droughts and wildfires, it's also home to the hottest recorded temperature the world has ever known.
Really?
The year was 1913. The place, Death Valley. And this was not the beginning of a vampire novel. On July 10th of that year, the temperature maxed out at 134 degrees. It happened before. It will happen again. Just please not in 2020. That's it for this episode. I hope you're enjoying the warm weather while remaining safe.
134 degrees Fahrenheit. That is like 60 degrees Celsius. I don't even know if it's possible for a human to live in conditions like that. I don't think it is, unless you live in a, you don't go outside, you've got a heavily air-conditioned home. Because, yeah, like when it was 40 degrees a few weeks ago, I couldn't step outside for that long. It was very, very uncomfortable. Like, the AC in my car it wasn't even working that well. So to add 60 more degrees Celsius on top of that, I can't even imagine it. Let me know what's the hottest you guys have experienced, the hottest temperature, how you dealt with it apart from AC. Like, I do need to buy like an AC unit for this place. But obviously, like, because summer's probably reaching its end, I don't know if I want to get one now or wait till next year, but yeah, just a crazy video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.